Welcome to Real Estate Defined with ERA Advantage Realty, and I'm Greg Henderson with my co-host
Layna Jarvis.
Okay, Layna, what's our term today?
Showing with the buyer.
Great. Buyer showings. Okay, buyers, one of the first things that we really want you to know so you can help your buyer's agent is know the MLS number of the house that you want to go and take a look at, and give your buyer's agent just a little bit of time so they can set up the showing. There are times that the seller needs just a little bit of time to prepare for that showing, so a minimum of a couple of hours is a great courtesy for your buyer's agent.
You mean I can't just stop in front of the house as a buyer and call someone and say, hey, I want to look at this now?
You always can, but you're putting your buyer's agent really under the gun at that point. It's a real great courtesy just to give your buyer's agent a little bit of time to set up the showing.
Sounds like it would probably upset the seller a little bit, and that may hurt negotiation. Is that right?
It could. It absolutely could. One of the other things that we want to talk about with the showing with the buyer is buyer etiquette once you enter the home. You'll find at times that you will want to take off your shoes. That may be a requirement of the seller. What are some other things that the seller may want to see you do in the home showing?
Well, the other thing I think, and this is important for the agent, is to leave the card so the seller knows that you, the buyer, stopped by to look at their property. It's also important when you're in a group of people that everyone stay together. That's for safety reasons for you and the agent as well as the seller. When I show a property, I always let my buyers know beforehand, go ahead, get in a group and I'll follow behind. That way you as the buyer, you can talk amongst yourselves. However, what are some tips you recommend not talking about when viewing a home?
One of the things that's important when a buyer is viewing a home is, since you are in someone else's home, they may have security systems in place. And if that is the case, you will want to refrain from talking anything about the negotiating points, mainly your price points, when you're in a home. It's also probably best to write up any contracts away from the home, maybe at the office or at a neutral party location.
Or on the back of the card, if that's necessary.
That happens too. One of the other things that you're going to see agents request when they do a buyer showing is you leave the home in exactly the same way that you found it.
So, you mean we need to turn off lights and close doors and make sure everything's locked up?
If that was the way that you found it, yes. We like to make sure that the house is secured and safe for when the seller gets back home.
Now what about that little lockbox thing that beeps on the front of the door?
The lockbox is one of the best features that we as agents have, and that does two things. First of all, it houses the key for the door, and only realtors have access to that lockbox. The other thing that it does is it will put in the lockbox information the showing agent's name and contact information. So a listing agent will know which buyer's agent has opened that lockbox. So if a seller sees anything come up missing, well, they're going to know which buyer's agent was last in that house.
I do know when I have someone showing one of my listings, it pops up the time as well that they entered and left. So that's a great point, Greg. Thank you.
Absolutely. This is Buyer Showings Today with ERA Advantage Realty and Real Estate Defined. I'm Greg Henderson.
And I'm Layna Jarvis, and for more information, you're welcome to stop by our office at 528 North Main, Logan, or you can give us a call at 435-764-5331. You're also welcome to call or text me at 435-764-5331. The office is 435-752-8222.
And my number is 435-890-9293. For any other information about anything real estate related, come and talk to us.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.